So I'm going to do homework question number 2 from inverse variations. Connie would like to invest enough money so that the interest earned would be enough to take a small holiday in 1 year's time. She determines that the principal, P, that she needs to invest varies inversely with the rate of interest. So the more she initially invests with the principal, the smaller the rate of interest needs to be. That's what it's tracking. The one way she can earn enough interest is with the principal amount of $8,000 invested at 5%. So, write a variation equation for the problem and determine the value of the constant. So, if we remember from our notes, the inverse variation is y equals k over x, where y is our dependent variable, x is our independent variable, and k is our constant of variation. Some constant that is divided by x. By x, yeah. So, what we do know from the question is that with our dependent and independent variables, our principal is the dependent and our independent is our rate of interest, which we're going to call I. So what we can do is, given this information, we can say that the principal, which is the dependent variable, is equal to k over our independent variable, which is our I, lowercase I. So what we want to do now is we want to solve for that k. We have a bit of information. It says that when the interest rate equals 5%, and we know that we can, whenever we have a percent, we can express it as a decimal like that. The principal is 8,000. So what we want to do is we want to substitute this 8,000 for the P, and this 0.05 or 5% for the I, so that we can solve for K. So let's do that. 8,000 equals K over 0.05. What we need to do is we need to get K all by itself, so we have to multiply this side by 0.05, and whatever you do to one side you must do to the other. So 0.05 over 0.05 is just 1, so on this side we're left with 1K, or just K. And when you say 0.05 times 8,000, you get 400. So the answer to the first question will be this equation right here. Our P equals K over I, but we know what K is now, so we can substitute for it. Not only does P equal K over I, but P equals 400, which is our K value, over I. Question B. How much principal needs to be invested at a rate of 4%? So we know that I equals 0.04. What does P equal? All we need to do is take this equation and substitute for the I 0.04. So when I do that, say P equals 400 over 0.04. And when I plug that into my calculatore, I get P equals 10,000. So, in order to get enough money, she needs to, at 4%, she needs to have a principal of $10,000. What about C? If Connie invested $6,000, what rate of interest would earn her enough for her holiday? So we know that the principal equals 6,000. I equals what? Well, I just need to plug this P into this equation and solve for the I. So substitute 6,000 in for the P and then solve for the I. 6,000 equals 400 not 4,000, 400 over I. Remember what I taught you in class today? If you want to have a quick way to switch things, I can quickly switch the number on this side with the denominator down here. So I say I equals 400 divided by 6,000. I equals 0.67, because it's 0.6666666. Oh, sorry, not 0.67, 0.067, because it's 6.7%. It would be 0.6666 all the way to infinity, but I'm just going to curtail it there. Or we can say, or 6.7%.